President Trump acknowledged the horrific tragedy at a synagogue on Thursday as he led a Hanukkah celebration at the White House 5 weeks after a deadly attack on Jewish Americans. 11 Jewish Americans were brutally murdered in a sinister anti-Semitic attack on the Tree of Life synagogue in Pittsburgh, the president said, stopping to correct himself after an attendee made him aware that he'd incorrectly stated the death toll. The president noted that he and Melania visited Pittsburgh to pay their respects. Trump said congregants were incredible people, the way they stood up so bravely, so proudly and defended their faith. In the aftermath of that wicked assault, we reaffirmed our solemn duty to confront anti-Semitism everywhere it occurs, Trump declared. We must stamp out this vile hatred from the world. Trump said that the Jewish people have suffered unthinkable repression and endured horrific violence, and yet they continue to thrive. Thrived like few, that I can tell you, the president stated. Thrived. He welcomed 8 Holocaust survivors to the White House in his address, playfully saying of one of the women, "She looks so young." She told him off mic that she's not, as he teased, that she is young at heart. He promised to protect the Jewish nation from the threat posed by Iran and reminded them that he had followed through on a promise to move the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. It was a horrible, horrible deal. It should have never been made, he said of the Iran nuclear deal that he abandoned this year and imposed the toughest ever sanctions. We sanctioned Iran, I guess, like no one has ever been sanctioned before. Trump asserted, we must never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. We cannot let the world's leading sponsor of terror, a country that chants death to America and threatens Israel all of the time with annihilation and constantly screams out death to Israel, to possess the deadliest weapon on earth. We will not allow that to happen. The kept promise led to chance of 4 more years, even though Trump has a potential 6 years in office before him. That is actually 6 more, he said, echoing an audience member who made the point. I've actually never heard 4 more years, that's an interesting one. We'll go for 6, and then we'll all be in very good shape. The president's address was enthusiastically received, especially by one attendee standing near Trump who shrieked throughout the president's remarks. Share this article. Share. Although it was a celebration of the Jewish faith, it was also a solemn occasion at times as Trump remembered the fallen, including the 11 Jewish Americans who were massacred at their Pennsylvania synagogue. That doubled as a memorial service. To me, it's a simple message. The light is the message, Rabbi Jeffrey Myers said as he stood in front of a makeshift memorial for the 11 victims of the October massacre. Myers was leading the Shabbat ceremony at Tree of Life when the October 27 shooting occurred. Nearly 500 people gathered outside the house of worship to honor the dead and celebrate the beginning of Hanukkah on Sunday evening. We are practicing our Jewish faith publicly and proudly, Stephen Cohen, co-president of New Light Synagogue, said at the menorah lighting ceremony. Trump was hosting 2 ceremonies at the White House on the 5th night of Hanukkah, the first of which included a menorah lighting. The White House's annual celebration was delayed as the nation grieved former President George H.W. Bush, who was on his way by locomotive to his final resting place on Thursday night. Trump paid tribute to Bush at the Hanukkah celebration at the White House, calling him a wonderful man and an American patriot. He said the state funeral he attended for Bush on Wednesday at the National Cathedral was a beautiful tribute to the ex-president who died at the age of 94 on Friday. "We will always remember this great statesman," the sitting president said. "He really was very special."